Hey everyone, this is Allison. Um, I say a lot. Okay, I want to talk about a few topics today. I have multiple sclerosis that is advanced or advancing. I'm 34 years old, as I've said in some of my other videos. But today there's a couple of topics that just are weighing heavily on me, and I'm sure I'm not the only one out there. Um, I'm single, divorced for a few years, and single. Uh, I would like to get everyone's feedback or comments or questions, whatever, as far as having multiple sclerosis and dating. I know, I mean, it's probably for some you may want to tell the person first thing, others may want to hold out a little bit, but I guess I'm not good at dating. It's was awkward, clumsy, everything to begin with, before getting diagnosed. And this past year has really been a time of me discovering myself now having multiple sclerosis, discovering the changes that I need to make in my life and things to help make everyday tasks a little bit easier for myself. And I will do another video over some life hacks with MS that I do. It may not help anybody, but it's just little things that I do, because sometimes this disease can be very aggressive and intolerable and can, take away some freedoms that you're used to prior being diagnosed. First thing, I'm a very honest and open person. And with that being said, no, I don't think you should say, everything on a first date, because it's a first date. You don't know if you're going to be like me and never get a second date, or multiple sclerosis in itself is scary. And most of us that have it would like to believe that everybody knows what it is. Everybody knows everything about it, what the person they're trying to date that has it is struggling with, but that's not true. As it's known as the snowflake disease, no two people are alike. You could be dating someone whose mother has it, but her symptoms could be worse or less than the symptoms you experience. So it's not really fair to compare even, myself with anybody else that has the disease, because you may experience symptoms that I don't, and vice versa. The disease is horrible, and it does change you. I don't care what anybody says, it does change you. I like to think a lot of times that the old Allison prior to being diagnosed in 2014 is dead, because I am completely different. Some reasons of my own choosing, others, of course, medically, that can't be helped. But in some ways, I would like to think that I have bettered myself as far as accepting the disease. And some days it's still hard. You're always going to get frustrated. And maybe not daily, but at certain times when there's something that maybe you used to could do or enjoy doing and now you can't. But don't think of that as something wrong with you, because it's not. You can't help the things that have medically and physically, mentally changed about you because of this disease. So don't ever let anyone make you feel guilty because you're sick. I have been there and done that, and let me be the first one to tell you, it will take you down really quick. It will make your symptoms worse. You can't feel guilty. The cause has been speculated but is not known for multiple sclerosis. And even if they discover a cause, that may not be the reason that every person that has MS has it, It's just, a mystery illness. And all I'm telling you is that you just have to try and do the best that you can every day. Society is cruel. Society is cruel. Adults, children alike. It is so judging. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a saint, because everybody, has judged someone or others at some point in time in their life. But I myself, prior to being diagnosed, was very kind of introverted, I guess, somewhat insecure. I'd been made already to feel that way, and then after I was diagnosed, was made to feel even worse, or just, those type of relationships are unhealthy, and they will take you down a road that you don't want to go. When I got by myself, when I moved away from that, was the first time I had time to sit down in the quiet, well, with my little dog, and reflect about everything that has happened since getting diagnosed. And it was a lot. And I cried like a baby. I still do from time to time, but it's just me and my dog. And getting diagnosed with something like MS is confusing, hurtful. It does something to you. It's because it's so uncertain. And doctors can give you prognosis. I've read articles. I do a lot of research. I read articles that say that most people with MS have generally the same lifespan as a healthy person. And I hope that is true. And others may get a prognosis of 10 years. And as far as when it comes to that, I'm just here, and I live each day the best that I can. There's some days, some perks of being single, and I cannot have children, is that if I want to lay on the couch because it's a day I feel I need to rest, I do that. And I don't have to answer to anybody or explain why I'm laying down, explain why I need to sleep 12, 14 hours, and I can still be tired. That's, on me. But being single for a while, there's something missing in my life, like a feeling of, a companion, putting myself back out there dating. And I have tried a couple times, and it's just, I just feel awkward. Does anybody else feel awkward as far as, and I do tend to overanalyze some things, but I feel awkward as far as normal questions on a first date. Like, I'm an honest person. I can't lie. And like, if I'm asked, so what do you do for a living? Uh, I make crafts at home. I lost my job when I got sick. Um, I'm just curious as to other fellow MS warriors. How do you answer these questions on a first date? Just the normal one. It's like, what do you do for a living? What do you do for fun? What do you, where do you work? Because I felt so awkward. I went on a date and I thought it went good. And I mean, I was questioned more about, like, what is multiple sclerosis? What is exactly? And all I could say, because it's such a vast topic, was just Google it. Like, everybody Googles everything today. And I don't know if maybe they read some things Googling that maybe scared them away, but here I am single again. I just, I know if you get into a relationship and it gets serious, that there's certain things that you're gonna have to talk about and explain when you have to start going to the doctor, or like myself, I get monthly Tysabri infusions and I have to go sometimes just for blood work. And MRIs, which take 3-4 hours. And I know that when you get in a serious relationship, that is more of a topic that you have to explain. But I felt, being diagnosed now almost 3 years, man, time flies, that I have spent the majority of this 3 years having to constantly feel like I have to explain myself. Getting diagnosed for me gets rid of the simple answers of no. Excuse me. I'm getting over double ear infection and respiratory infection. But it's like, if someone's like, hey, we're gonna go here to this amusement park, and you're like, no. And they're like, you were fine yesterday. Yeah. And then sleep happened, and I woke up and this symptom is with me today. I just hate that. You can't say no anymore. You can't say it without having to explain. Or maybe that's just me. What do you all feel like when it comes to that? I myself don't make long-term plans, as far as if someone were to set a date to go on a trip or something this time next year. I don't set anything like that in stone. I could be even more better this time next year, or I could be a lot worse. I don't make promises and long-term commitments like that, because I don't know how I'm going to wake up every day. And this disease has caused me to be even more insecure, I guess, about myself. It has caused some, to me, maybe not to the outside world, but to myself, some obvious physical ailments and challenges. I can tell somewhat looking now into the camera, my left eye, it likes to float everywhere. It's like my swimming eye, just everywhere all the time. But it has my best vision. My right eye is, sometimes I see nothing. Sometimes it's double vision. Most of the time it's like a little pinhole of light looking down a tunnel waiting for the train. And my left eye floats around because it's constantly trying to overcompensate for my right eye. But also, with my face, sometimes I have numbness and tingling in the left side, and it droops. Sometimes it's on this side, and it droops. My smile is off center sometimes. It's just changed a lot. You know, I was already somewhat insecure beforehand, but now I guess I'm more insecure. And being insecure in dating is also not a good thing. It's so hard anyway for me, and I'm sure a lot of people, to trust other people. If you've been hurt, if you've been burned once, twice, 3+ times, I feel sorry for you, and I understand where you're coming from. And it's very hard to not feel like that's going to happen when you meet someone new, which I don't meet many new people. I don't go hang out at bars. I don't, you know, I just don't, maybe I don't put myself out there enough, but I'm just curious as to other fellow MS warriors, what like activities or what places do you go to, you know, if you're trying to meet someone to date, to put yourself out there, you know, like with this disease. Because I don't do dating websites. And I just, I don't know. It's just a lot of different things. Questions constantly run through my mind. I have accepted my illness and disease. I have accepted it. It was very hard to do because my life as I knew it had completely been turned upside down. It was not just one thing, many things. And then it was like a snowball effect as far as my career, finances, and I am on permanent disability at this point. I do not give up complete hope yet that maybe one day that I will be able to work somewhere part-time, do something, because I just turned 34 years old this year, and you know, I've been sick most of my life with other ailments, and I just, you know, I make crafts and stuff, but still, there's still just so many voids in me that I just want to connect with people. Not just people that have multiple sclerosis, but people who don't, you know, that I used to connect with. And it's very hard because this illness, you can't always hide it. Like, you know, physically, or even sometimes, you know, emotionally, it does stay with me. It does stay in the back of my mind 24/7, I mean, literally. But I'm just curious as to everyone else. I would like comments, feedback. If you have questions for me, we just need to connect with other MS warriors. I feel the need to, so that you don't feel so alone in this society with this disease, and it will help me not feel so alone and different. But this video is almost 20 minutes. I do tend to just blabber on, and so I'm gonna end it here. Just Thanks for watching.